Hey dearies, hope you're all doing good. Now let me ask you, how many times have you stopped to think of the many benefits that journaling offers our mental health? Today let's talk the mental benefits of journaling. I'm your host and bestie, Hetty. Welcome back to my channel. First off, what is journaling? Journaling is the practice of regularly writing down your expressions, your emotions, your thoughts, and even your reflections. And these serve many purposes as self-reflection, as creative expressions, as goal settings, and even gratitude development. Life can be a roller coaster of emotions and expressions, personal and business encounters, and even external pressures. And all of these things can be challenging and overwhelming sometimes to untangle. Now, journaling offers a sanctuary. It's like a vast canvas where you get to put down all of your deepest thoughts, your expressions, your emotions without judgment. Okay, journaling is a great tool for a transformative and profound mental health. Journaling goes beyond the mere pen to paper. It's a safe space where we get to unravel our emotions and also find solace in self-expressions. So the number one pointer for me is emotional expression and self-awareness. Like I said early on, journaling offers a safe space where you get to unravel the deepest of your thoughts without judgment. Okay, by putting down your thoughts and your feelings on paper, you realize that you get to understand your emotional landscape. You also get to identify your triggers, you get to identify your patterns, and you get to identify emotions that may have been buried for a longer period, and this self-awareness enhances emotional growth. It also helps us to better manage depression, anxiety, and also better manage stress. So the second most important benefits of journaling is that it helps us reduce stress and also helps us to relax. Life can be overwhelming sometimes. By putting down some of these our concerns and our worries, we get to realize that we offload some of these burden onto paper. And by so doing, we get to relax and we get to have a feeling of some form of relief. Journaling in itself, the practice of journaling in itself is a meditative thing. So you realize that the more you engage in journaling, you find yourself being calm and you have some tranquility in your life in a rather hectic day like some of these days that we have. Alright, so now the third pointer is that journaling helps us to better problem solve and also set our goals. Putting down your thoughts on paper helps you to analyze situations objectively, and by so doing you are better able to solve problems better. Journaling is a powerful tool to help break down challenges, brainstorm solutions, and also weigh pros and cons. Oftentimes you realize that when we are able to put down some of these worries and our concerns, we come to realize that it's not so overwhelming as it feels in our minds, and therefore it offers us a fresh start and a fresh perspective and a sense of relief. And this helps us to set meaningful goals, track our progress, and also helps us to feel more motivation and more accomplished. So the fourth benefit of journaling is that it boosts our mood and then it makes us positive. Okay, by writing down positive experiences, gratitude, and happy moments, it automatically elevates our mood. It gives us a more fresher look on life. It gives us a new perspective in general about life, a more optimistic look on life in general. Right, so the fifth benefit of journaling that I have here is that it helps us cope with trauma and also with grief. Okay, journaling can be an essential tool for healing to some of us who have experienced trauma and also some loss. It helps us better understand and process the grief that we are feeling and some of these difficult situations that we experience, and by so doing, this kind of storytelling helps to build our resilience and also helps to the road of recovery. So you'd want to practice some journaling if you are going through some form of loss or some form of trauma. All right, so the sixth benefit of journaling is that and it enhances cognitive function. You know, various studies have shown that the practice of journaling actually enhances cognitive function, like memory retention and also comprehension. You know, by practically engaging in structured writing and all of that, the brain naturally stimulates and it better stores information and also have a better cognitive clarity. So the number 7th benefit of journaling is that it helps us track mental health progress. You know, some of us who are going through therapy or some form of mental health issues, you know, writing down your thoughts, it helps you to better introspect and better reflect on your actions, and by so doing you are better able to identify triggers, to identify patterns, and then identify areas that also needs to be improved. The last pointer for me is that journaling strengthens self-discipline. You know, when you are committed to writing regularly, you find out that you are self-disciplined. You carve time out for yourself to reflect and also to self-care. Okay, journaling is not just about ink to paper. It's more of a therapeutic kind of thing. It helps you explore the deepest of your emotions. It also helps you to self-express yourself, confront challenges, and also adapt a deeper connection with ourselves. You know, journaling is not just ink to paper. It offers a more therapeutic kind of journey to a better mental health. You know, the benefits of journaling goes beyond the therapeutic. It helps us to understand the intricacies of our minds and also helps us live a more fulfilled life. You know, by incorporating journaling into your routine, being it daily, weekly, or when you need a healthy outlet, you find out that you find a cathartic release where you are better able to manage your emotions and pave the way for a more resilient and emotionally enriched life. Alright dear, so that's about all that time will allow us today. You'd want to find time to incorporate some journaling into your routine. Until next time, like and share the video and also comment. I'll see you again with another informative episode. Bye.